The moment the famous singer pointed at the janitor and said, "You sing," the entire auditorium froze. It wasn't a kind request. It was sharp, public, and humiliating. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes, leaning back against the piano as everyone shifted uncomfortably. This was supposed to be a fun charity rehearsal. Instead, it felt like a trap. The janitor, Elias, stood near the back wall, mop still in hand. He'd been quietly cleaning while the singer rehearsed a solo she'd performed on world stages. She sighed dramatically into the mic. "Don't be shy. You've been humming the entire time. If you think you can sing, let's hear it." Nervous laughter trickled through the crowd. Elias swallowed, trying to disappear as he'd learned to do long ago. "I'm just cleaning, ma'am," he said softly. But she waved him on. "Oh, come on. One line. It'll be fun." The pianist hesitated, and then Elias did something no one expected. He nodded. Slowly, he set his mop against the wall. The singer whispered loudly into the mic, "Let's see what we're working with." The pianist played the opening chord of a technically difficult piece, designed to show off power. Elias closed his eyes, and when he opened his mouth, the room changed. The first note was pure, controlled, and warm, landing perfectly in pitch. The pianist's head snapped up. The singer's smile faltered. Elias kept singing, his voice growing richer, deeper, filling the room with an emotion you can't teach, but can only earn. By the time he reached the first high note, the audience was holding its breath. He hit it effortlessly. The singer's face went pale. Because that note, she had never hit it cleanly, not once. Elias finished the line and stopped. The silence was absolute. Then, one person stood up and clapped. Then another, and another. Stunned, the singer stepped away from the piano. "Where did you learn to sing like that?" she asked, her voice no longer mocking, but uncertain. Elias hesitated. "I used to sing," he said quietly. "A long time ago." The event director stepped forward. "Used to?" Elias nodded. "Before my wife got sick, before hospital bills, before life needed me somewhere else." The singer crossed her arms. "That doesn't answer the question." Elias looked around the room, at the lights and curtains that once felt like home. "I was trained," he said. "Conservatory. Scholarship." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The director asked him to continue. The singer opened her mouth to protest, but stopped. Elias sang again. This time, he held nothing back. He sang like someone remembering who he used to be. By the end, people were quietly wiping tears from their eyes. The applause was thunderous. Clips of the rehearsal leaked online and went viral, gaining millions of views in days. People were asking, "Who is he? Why hasn't he been discovered?" This is what real talent sounds like. Behind the scenes, the singer was furious, not because he was better, but because he reminded her of something she'd lost. On the night of the concert, the auditorium was packed. Elias stood backstage in a borrowed suit, his hands shaking. He almost walked away, back to the comfort of invisibility. Then he remembered his wife, who used to whisper, "Don't disappear." He stepped onto the stage. This time, no one laughed. He sang not to prove a point, but to reclaim himself. When the final note soared, clean and perfect, the audience rose as one. The singer didn't clap. For the first time in her career, she wasn't the best voice in the room. Elias was offered contracts, interviews, a chance to return to music. He took just one, enough to stop cleaning floors, enough to live with dignity, enough to sing again, because talent doesn't disappear when life gets hard. It just waits, quietly, until the moment someone underestimates it. If this story moved you, share where you're watching from. Stories like this remind us that greatness isn't always under spotlights. Sometimes it is, holding a mop, waiting to get its voice back. Thanks for watching, and if you stayed until the end, you already know why this story found you.